might buffer, but we'll just have to deal with it for now. Okay, let's see. Okay. The first one was just a hard drop, so let's not worry about that. Okay. One thing I noticed during gameplay, for the most part, is passiveness. Like, you hit most of your shots. I wouldn't say you're lacking too much in aim. Like, everyone can work on their aim and get it better and get more consistent. But for the most part, you're hitting your shots, but I would say you're being way too passive. Let me just play this clip and I'll try to explain this. Okay, so you downed a Pathfinder here. Okay, so you downed a Pathfinder before in this team, right? You downed a Pathfinder and you downed an Octane. And you're almost full HP, right? Now, most of the time, you get good knocks, you put in a lot of damage, but when it's time to push, you back out, right? Like just in this clip, right? You rest your Bangalore, you're almost full HP, so instead of backing out, just try to push, and the ult was your Bangalore, so there was no need to play so slow, and they get a res off, right? So you do manage to, they die in the ring, you do manage to win this fight, but the problem is, it doesn't happen every time. Like, if you're being this slow or passive with your fights, you will be getting third, fourth, fifth party most of the time, right? In Apex, you want to be as quick as you can with finishing your fights, right? Even, wait, let's play this again. Okay. Right here, you're hitting your shot. She probably resed one or maybe even two, but they have to be low, right? Now, if I were you in this situation, as soon as I get a knock, there was a death box in front of you, right? That red death box. I would instantly armor swap from that box after knocking her, and then push the other teammate, right? So you want to be, I would say, start playing more aggressive, and that's the problem. Like, a lot of players, they struggle to improve mostly, and I have seen this. Like, I play on a lot of servers. I have played on a lot of servers on NA, on EU, on Asian servers. Now, the biggest problem with players from Asian servers and NA servers is that they play really passive. Especially, I have seen them play in diamond ranked or higher lob. Like, in ranked generally, they would pick up snipers and they would be just camping the whole game and playing for placement without even having enough KP. Like, they play really, really slow and really passive to the point where they don't even know when to push and when not to push, right? And on EU, it's kind of different. Like, on EU, there are players who do not like to play passive a lot, but they're good at gunfights, right? They're good at putting up a fight, which I do not see a lot on Asian servers and NA servers, mostly on EU. So, and the reason is that they play aggressive, so they know when to push and when not to push, right? So it might be a bit hard for you to instantly adopt an aggressive playstyle, but that is something you want to start doing, is because if you don't play aggressive, you won't learn when is the right time to push. It is really important for that. That's a huge problem. A lot of people, they play so passive that they don't know when to push or not to push. Just like over here, you could have pushed them 2 times, right? And easily finish the fight way early, 2 times. But instead, you played really slow, even though you're hitting most of your shots and you're playing good, but you're being passive. And to get rid of that passiveness, you have to start playing aggressive. And I would recommend you do that by playing pubs. When you play pubs, it's simple. You just play for kills, right? Just don't care about winning when you're playing pubs, which you are doing for the most part. Just try to take as many fights as you can, be as aggressive as you can. But I would also not recommend hard dropping. Now, hear me out. I would recommend you hard drop, but at the same time, I would say don't hard drop. What I mean by that is, let's say, this is a spot, and this is, let's say, a spot where kind of a hard drop spot, and there's like three compounds, one compound over here, one over here, and one over here. And let's say most teams land in this compound in this hard drop. So what I do is I land in this compound. So I always land close to a hard drop, right? Just land in a small building or small 2-3 buildings, or just close to a hard drop. Like let's say in mills, there are two buildings in mills, right? And there's like on the back side there's like three small buildings. So I would land over there, get a gun, get some loot, and then push, right? Or there are two small buildings on the right side of mill. I would land over here, get a gun, and then push, right? So when you're hard dropping, just try to give yourself a chance, right? Just at least get a gun and then push. But try to take fights and try to mainly focus on finishing your fights quick. You got a knock. If you see, okay, his teammates are far away, instantly finish him, take his armor swap, and then fight his teammates, right? Instead of, you get a knock, you back all the way, you go back all the way, you start healing, and by the time you heal, they res him, right? And they start pushing you. So it's just gonna take a lot of time, right? So that's one thing, really important. You need to start working in your game. Okay. Yeah, I covered this one, take armor. Okay. And one other thing, which when I do war reviews, which is quite rare, like people do this mistake a lot, but for the most part, you're playing, I would say, good, like you're playing behind cover, not over peeking a lot, but okay. Where is it? It should be around here somewhere. Okay. I wrote down the timestamp wrong. I'm sorry about this, my internet is a bit slow. Yeah, over here, okay. Now, so there's a team in this general direction, right? One thing you do here is you try to stand on this, but not. This is way too open and overexposed, and they're like in this general direction. Like one can be peeking you from here, one can be peeking you from over here, and over here, like you're overexposing yourself, right? Like in your case, I might have tried to flank them from this side, or tried peeking from this side and then dropping down if I see a lot of them, but this is way too open. Just try to, when you're peeking a team and you don't know exactly where they are, just try to peek from a safe spot. This is not kind of a safe spot, or even like walking up to this rock and crouching behind it might have helped, but and also you got Bloodhound scan. That's kind of the main reason you got beamed here. Whenever you get Bloodhound scan, you always need to run back, because it's literally wall hacks. So whenever you get Bloodhound scan, just wait for the Bloodhound scan to expire. Once that expires, then try to re-peek again, right? And even if they could not see you properly, they're just literally shooting you through the smoke, because they know you're there just by using Bloodhound scan, right? So that's something you might want to keep in mind. Whenever you get Bloodhound scan, never peek the enemy, because they know they will pre-fire and pre-aim you. They know you're about to peek them, right? Or you're peeking them. That's something else you might want to keep in mind. Okay. Now over here, there's a team inside. They have fenced up, right? If you pay attention over here, your whole team is pushing this side of the building, right? Now, one thing I recommend, especially when you're pushing a building, And if your whole team is pushing from one side and the expected side, like I would say they're holding this side, and they know you guys are nading this side and you guys are trying to peek from this side, so try not to peek from the same side, where they are already looking at, right? So like if I were you in this situation, I would go towards the right side. One sec. Like my teammates are already peeking or shooting at them from this side, right? So I would take the advantage and try to flank them and try to peek them from that side, because they're probably looking at this door and that door, right? So I want to push from a side which they're not looking at or they're not paying attention to. And by the way, do you hear me, right? Just making sure it's not. Okay, nice. Okay. So especially when it comes to pushing buildings, let's say there are a lot of buildings in Fragment or just in general any building, most of the time people will be looking at the stairs or the zip, so you want to try to push from unexpected angles, usually by climbing from one of the sides. There are a lot of ways to climb a building, or a lot of spots where you can peek from a building. So if you think they're holding one spot or they're looking at the stairs or the zip, just try to push from some other side or get one by surprise, right? That makes the fight a lot easier than just pushing from the side they're mostly focused on. Okay. Mm, over here, two guys pushed Yoloba, they got her down, but there was also another team here which was shooting at them and shooting at you guys. So if I were you in this situation, I would just let the team that is up top, let them fight them and jump on them. Once they do that, then I push, right? You don't want to be like, if there's a third team close by and they're engaging too, just let them fight. As soon as they engage with each other, start getting a knock, then you push, especially when you're solo. You don't want to be letting yourself get third party, which is what happened here exactly. There was a whole team up there, right? So especially when you're in a 1v2 situation, a 1v3, you always need to, most of the time, bait people and take the high ground instead of pushing on the low ground. And like when you're solo, it's usually better to let the team push you instead of you pushing towards them, right? I'll try to explain that further, but it's kind of hard to explain in this scenario. Okay, let's scan. Okay. So we're here, like, there were a lot of fighting going on in here, right? And you entered, let's rewind that a bit, I would say. So as soon as you're about to enter a building, that's when you wanna pop a scan, and you saw footsteps up top, right? And when you scan in this general direction. Even if you scan late, just try to scan the whole building, right? Like take a few steps back and scan in this direction so it covers everything. And that's kind of why you got down here, because you only scanned these guys, and there was a guy on your right side. Yeah, I'm not gonna blame you for that. It just happens, like, especially Bloodhound, and you're switching characters a lot. So if you play different legends all the time, it kinda, sometimes you forget to use their ability. You don't know what's legend you're on sometimes, I also play on different legends. I used to be a Pathfinder main, but now I'm sometimes playing Bloodhound, Bangalore, Octane, Wraith, right? Okay, you assume there's only one team there? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but still, when you're scanning with Bloodhound, just try to cover as much area as you can cover, right? Like if you take a few steps back and try to scan in the forward general direction, all of them would have been scanned, including the Octane. So you would have known, okay, he's up top, you need to take him first, right? And there were also footsteps that were leading up the stairs. Okay. For the most part in your ward, you're using cover really well. You also try to use cover here well, but I think you kind of got maybe a bit nervous or kind of panicked in this fight. Okay. You know there's a team here. Now, first thing that I would do, as soon as I know there's a team in that general direction, is by the footsteps you could tell that they're close, right? And even if you play this cover, right, they can easily close the gap and get close to you to discover. You know, they just have to run towards you using the cover in front of them, and they can easily jump on you, just like the horizon got close to you. So the first thing, when like a whole team is in front of you and they're pretty close to you, is close the gap. You did use cover, but I would say you used the wrong cover, right? Just try to take a few steps back. The pillar that was behind, if you played on this cover that was behind you, they would have to cover a bit more distance to push you, and that gives you more time to deal a lot of damage when they try to push you, right? And on this spot, they're pretty close to you already. They can just run towards your cover, all three of them, right? And just force you into a 1v2, 1v3 situation. Okay, even though you're using the cover, unless you got stuck here and you had to use this cover. Now, Horizon is here. There's an Octane shooting from here, and there's one other guy on the far right. So in this situation, right, what you did, I think, as I said, right, sometimes people get nervous or panic. You kind of might have panicked and you took the Horizon Q. What I would have done is I would have peeked the right corner. Yeah, I totally understand. It's a common thing, and I try to tell people how to deal with that too, because even if you have the best aim, the best game sense in the world, if you panic, you just lose, because you start whiffing your shots and you lose your ability to think straight, right? And that's not good. So in this situation, I would have peeked the right side instead of going into the horizon queue. You kind of panicked and made that decision without kind of thinking, right? Yeah, like two of them over here. If I play on the right side, they both can't see me, and I try to down the third guy, which is on the extreme right, right? Okay. Now, when it comes to panicking, right? Now, this is a huge problem, I would say, for a lot of people, right? And I would say I do not have an exact way to deal with it, right? No one kind of have an exact way to deal with panicking, but what I would tell you, what worked for me or how I deal with it, is that when I started playing the game, there's this YouTuber. His name is Zeus. He used to upload the Teabag the TTV videos. He's a pretty funny guy, so I would watch his videos. And in one of his videos, he said that, like, and like whenever he would be in a tough spot in a 1v2, 1v3 situation in like PERT lobbies, higher lobbies, he would always say, "I got this. I'm the best player in the game," right? And someone in his chat was, that you're arrogant for saying you're the best player in the game. And he's like, I don't literally mean that I'm the best player in the game is kind of a confidence boost, and I have to think I'm the best. Yeah, right. So that's something I kind of learned from him, and also like in a toxic way, which I think is good. I don't know if it's good really or not, but it works for me. Like what I mean in a toxic way is, let's say I'm crossing in the open towards a building, right? And someone shoots back at me, right? I do not see them, and they shoot me and they beam me good. Unless I'm taking a fight with someone, and they get some really good shots on me. They like beam me really good, and so right, I get behind cover and I start healing, and I'm like, how dare you try to do that to me, right? I just snap and I get pissed. I'm like, bro, you're going down. Like, but most people in that situation, they're like, oh shit, this guy is good, he's hitting his shots. That's what they think. For me, I just get pissed. I'm like, how dare you do that, right? And I just try to take them, try to get personal with them and try my best to take them down for getting good shots on me. Or you can say, like, when I was new to the game, whenever there would be, we were playing, I used to play pubs a lot with my friends, and when they would see a pred trail, they would be like, oh shit, that's a pred. And I would be like, that's good, I'm gonna push him as soon as I get a gun. If I win my 1v1, that means I'm better than a pred, right? Like, I would take it as a challenge. So it's mostly a mental thing, right? If the sooner you, as soon as you think that the guy is better than you just lose the very second, the very moment, right? So that's kind of something I learned. I just, when I'm playing the game, I think I'm the best player in the game. There's no one better than me. I don't care if there's Imperial Hall in my lobby, or if there's the best player in the world in my lobby. I just don't give a damn about that. I'll, try to smoke them. And even if I go down, even if I get knocked and lose the fight, it's a battle royale game. It happens. Even the best players go down, right? You just go next. But the thing is that they give it a try. Like, I would give it a try. I would not panic and think, oh, this guy is good, I'm gonna lose. No, you want to give it a try. At least, even if you go down, no worries, just give it a try. Let's say it's a 1v3. You are doing a 1v3 in pubs, right? And you panic. You just straight up die. But let's say you give it a try. Let's say, for example, in the beginning, you might be able to knock one guy, right? You gave it your best shot. You were able to knock one guy in a 1v3. Later on, your confidence builds up. You start downing two guys in a 1v3, and later on you start doing 1v3s most of the time, right? So it's the confidence that's really important. If you don't have the confidence and you panic in most fights, it's really hard. Even if you're good at aiming or game sense, everything just goes down the drain. It just gets wasted, right? So this is something, you might want to work on and try to adopt that mentality, right? It's a battle game, right? Even if you don't win, just give it your best shot. Just try your best. Just try to think what you can do right now instead of just panicking and running around or going in, aimlessly, right? Okay. So this is also really important. And once you get over this, playing aggressively is easier, right? This is also something why people don't like playing aggressive. Like, they panic to play aggressive, or they get nervous when they try to make aggressive pushes or plays. And that's the case with most people, and why they cannot get better at the game. Okay. Okay. Okay, so there's a team down there, right? They managed to down your bloodhound somehow, and they are dealing damage on you guys. I don't know what your Bloodhound was doing, but one problem is the Pathfinder is picking from the same angle and you're picking from the same angle at the team down, right? It's really important to hold different spots when taking fire. You don't have to be really far away from each other, right? Like if he's shooting from that side, you try to get an angle from this side, right? And that's kind of what happened. Like when you got pushed, someone pushed from that side because you were not holding it. Like it's easy. You can even 1v3 at this spot because you have the high ground and they're going to be running straight at you in a line. And if you hold that spot, right, you can easily head glitch on it and shoot the guys down below, right? Okay, one sec. So you're mostly focused on this region and the other guy somehow walks up onto that side, right? And so especially in rank when you're taking fires, and I tell that to my friends too also, like when they're playing with me and they always stick with me, like it's good to stick together in some situations, but it's also not good to do that. Like when you're pushing a building, it's better to deal some damage from different angles and then try to push in together from one side, or two guys push in together from one side and one guy pushes from the other side. So at the same time when you're getting pushed, right, is if you guys are all staying at one place, the other team will get different angles on you and easily focus for you guys, right? So it would have been better if you stayed on that spot. There's no way they could have pushed up on you over there. Like that's a way better spot to hold than this one. You get to see a lot more and you can easily head glitch on that high ground. Okay. Okay, so you guys just took out a team over here, right? You guys want to fight and you guys got third party. Now, in a situation like this, like you don't know where they are exactly, but you hear shots from this general direction, right? So in your situation, I would back down because they're probably a full team. You guys do not have a lot of cover here. If you if they jump on you, right? So it's better that to get all the way back, completely heal up, and let them push you. Try to bait them because when people are usually pushing, they're trying to do that in the open, and you can easily get some free beams on them, right? Or at least call your teammate to play with you over here somewhere because your teammate is playing way far too ahead where they're like really close. And obviously, like going for a res over here, yeah, definitely not the best decision to make because, of course, they got one down. It's a third party, it's a full team. They won't let you res and they will be pushing you. Right? So you guys get pushed from every angle and get shot at from every angle. So if you guys head back down, there's a building over here. Like this is the building, right? If you try to back all the way down over here, heal up, right? And if your Wraith had a portal, she could port the guy in there and try to hold that building. That would have been better. Because over here you're all in the open, they can get all different angles on you and easily kill you guys. But if you get to that building, you'll get your dome back and you'll be able to put up a good fight instead of just going down instantly. So there was nothing much you could have done there, right? Okay, like in some situations it's better to back down, and some situations it's better to push up. Now knowing the difference between the two, that's important, right? And that's why I recommend you start playing aggressive. So when you play aggressive, right, the way I told you, like you need to push up a bit more. At the same time, you need to be learning from your mistakes, right? That's also important. Like some of the mistakes I told you, like over peaking, pushing from low ground to high ground, or just peaking when you got bloodhound scan. So you want to be playing close to cover, but at the same time try to push as quick as you can and finish a fight as quick as you can. And while that is a playstyle that you're not used to, when you're adopting that playstyle, you'll be learning. Making mistakes. So whenever you go down, you need to realize, okay, I I pushed from a bad angle. The other guy was head glitching, or I was in the open, I was overexposed, or I did not have much information. I still pushed in, right? Like there can be a lot of reasons that you go down. So as long as you're trying to learn from your mistakes and realize what you're doing wrong, you'll be able to improve. So every time you go down, just try to see, okay, I did this wrong. So I'm supposed to not do it again. Like there are some mistakes like even I know I'm not supposed to do, but this game is so fast paced, right? Like sometimes I still end up doing them, right? But what you need to do is try to not do them as much as you can, most of the mistakes, and slowly you will get over most of your mistakes, right? But you need to know that you're making them, and you need to try to not do that again. But if you're not conscious about it, or you're not thinking about your mistakes, like let's say you play the game, you die, you just go next, next, and next, and you try not to think what happened in that situation or why you died, then it's harder to work on your game sense, right? Or to improve your game sense. You need to know what you're doing wrong, that is getting you killed in those fights, right? Okay. I think there wasn't much in the ranked games because it was just 117. I think there wasn't much over here. Let's see. Yeah, this was just something funny. That's why I probably wrote like added it because it's just you're trying to jump over it, but you just took the portal and went into three guys. That was unfortunate. Yep. I know it was accidentally. It's just you're trying to jump over it and you just threw you into the portal. But yeah, like for the ward review, right? That would be probably it from my side. But if you have any questions right now, you can ask me, or if you have any questions later on, let's say you need to ask me something, you can always send me a message. Always feel free to do so. I would be glad to answer any questions. I would love to help you out with your game. But yeah, for now, just try taking more fights and try being more aggressive. By aggression, I mean try to finish your fights quick. Don't take a lot of time, and that would help you much more with it. And also, if you feel like you want to get another session, I have two recommendations. One would be the general coaching session, in which I'll be going over aiming. How I worked on my aim, how to work on your aim. Yeah, aim session. Sure. Whenever you want, just send me a message. And other thing we can do too is you can play in diamond lobbies with me and one of my friends. Like mostly like it is like the end of the season, we are kind of bored, so we're just smurfing in diamond lobbies. We're just like even my Smurf is about to hit Masters, like one match away from Masters. So if you just want to see how we play in diamond lobbies, how we push fires, and what we're doing, what we are not doing, right? Just so you can get that confidence boost when you're playing with the team, and you get to play more freely. So we can do that too if you just want to play in diamond lobbies. Yeah. Do let me know if I can help you with anything else. And if you can do me a favor and end the session on progress from your side, like you might have an option to do that, like in the dashboard or somewhere. uh, Thank you. I really appreciate it. And hopefully it helps, right? And just let me know if I can be of any further help. Thanks a lot. Your name is Mitsui. I don't know how to pronounce it. I hope I pronounce it right. Thanks a lot, Mitsui, and see you next time. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you too for getting the session. Hope you have a good day and hope it helps you improve. See you next time. Goodbye.